Let's go Pete, and then David Caravello. Then we'll hear from Mike Ford. Go ahead.
Denny, Pete Iacobelli, Associated Press. How does the knee feel right now? I know yesterday you were talking about, you wanted to conserve a little something for tonight. I mean, are you feeling something right now? And will it take a day to get over it? 2 days? How quickly will it bounce back?
Well, I felt surprisingly really, really well with just the knee side things today before the race. It felt, as good as it ever has. It really is like pretty much a physical therapy session in there with the cars that vibrate. You kind of have a little bit of vibration right there on the steering column, so I kind of rest my leg against it, and it kind of acts as a stim unit, to be honest with you. So it feels good after races. It's just it's during the week that I'm laying around that it gets all stiff.
Let's go David Caravello, and then we'll hear from crew chief Mike Ford. Go ahead.
David Caravello, NASCAR.com. Jimmy had his third DNF tonight of the season. And Denny, I wonder, you're starting to get the feeling that he's maybe as vulnerable as he's ever been and that this championship is as wide open as it's been in the last 4 years?
It's tough to say. It's still so early in the season. We've got a lot of racing left to do before the chase starts. And those guys, when they get a comfortable place in the chase or in the point standings, you typically see that, I think, in the past history. They kind of, don't slack up, but their performance is not as good because maybe they're trying things or something like that. But I don't think I'm sure that there's no cause for panic on their side. And for us, it's just, we're just winning races. That's all, that's all I can say.
Let's hear from crew chief Mike Ford. Mike called a great race out there tonight. Your thoughts on how things went?
Coming into this race is very, bothersome knowing that, tires don't fall off and you're going to have to make the right calls to have the strategy at the right times. And, the first half of the race, our car didn't respond to two tires very well, and we knew that it was going to have to come down to a two-tire stop. And, we gave up some track position there in the middle of the race, leading the race, to try and work on our car because it wasn't accepting two tires. And, knowing that you're going to have the track position late in the race, you want to set yourself up for that. But it could have very easily gone the other way. We get back in traffic, we could have got caught up in something, lost some position, and not been in the lead pack to be able to make a call. So it's a very difficult race to call when the tires don't fall away.
Come back downstairs for other questions. Any questions? We got David Newton's got one back there in the back. Andrew?
Yeah, this is for Denny. David Newton, ESPN.com. You were one of the few drivers that seemed tonight when you listened on the radio that wasn't complaining about this going wrong. I mean, even Jeff, when he was dominating for a while, things would go bad in his car. Is there kind of peace or calmness over you where you just have control over it even when little things are going wrong now that you maybe didn't have before?
The excitement level is not the heart rate is not nearly as high as it used to be. When I would just have maybe a bad stop or something, I would instantly peak way high, and then it would affect on-track performance, and then I'd get caught up in a wreck. I feel like I'm a little bit more patient now on the racetrack, even though at times it seems like there's maybe an aggressive move here and there, but I still am well in control of my destiny throughout the day, even when things go bad. I've just learned that you can win these races. You don't have to win them in the first half. I mean, really, you just want to be somewhere around that top 8 or so the first half, and somewhere around that top 5 with 100 to go. You don't need to panic, when you're not in the lead the whole race. And to me, that's just a different mindset that I've had, and it seemed to work because I've had the equipment at the end when I needed it. When I needed to push it, the envelope, I had the car to do it, and especially at the end.
Other questions? Dustin has one right here, Andrew.
Dustin Long, Landmark Newspapers for Denny or Mike. 3 wins so far this season. We've seen at times in past years where guys have been leading the points or win a lot of races early but can't carry it through because it is such a long season. Is there a fear of, I guess in a sense, of being too good too early in a season?
I'll be honest with you, knowing what we've got coming later in the season and what we're working on the back half of the season right now. So honestly, I'm surprised how strong we are right now. We not to spill the beans, but we're working on chase stuff right now, and we're racing things that we were racing at the end of last year, so that we can concentrate on the later months of this year. So I'm personally surprised that we're running as strong as we are.
But yeah, the Martinsville in Texas with the new chassis, a new chassis, and this one was this a new one or an old one?
No, this is the car we ran at Martinsville.
Okay, so you're doing it with some newer types of chassis.
Same technology in these cars that we finished last year with.
Okay. They were built last year. We just didn't race them.
I believe Marty Smith has one over here in the corner. We can right here. We got to document it.
It's very important. Kerry Tharp must be documented. Marty Smith, ESPN. What did staying in that race car at Phoenix teach you about you?
It's tough to talk about myself. I think it showed character, and it shows I'm a team player. That's two things that I can characterize it as. The easy way would have been to get out of the car and just sit there and watch someone else go through hell for the rest of the race with a car that was dinged up. But, there's been many times my guys have gone over and beyond for me in certain situations and stuck up for me. And if I, tell them they did a crappy job, they still didn't care. They still patted me on the back, and we went on to next week. And so I felt like it was important for me to step up and do the same for them, and it's paid off. People don't believe it, but it's paid off. We have those good pit stops at the end, and is it coincidence? Maybe, but I can tell you our team is hitting its stride, and everyone's getting along as good as they ever have. So, good decision or bad decision, it's in my head it was the only decision.